Well, good, extremely hot afternoon, everybody. It is 106 degrees on the heat index, and I'm about to jump in, thank the good Lord, a cab tractor with AC. And we're going to go down and start working on the dove plot today. Today is the day that we're going to try to get it all in and plant it. What I have to do is hook up to the disc, go out there and kind of level the field. I like to get a fluffy soil bed and cover up all those deep ruts from whenever I was cutting it in aggressively the last couple of times. And then I'll broadcast the seed straight on top of that fluffy soil, go right back and pack it in. Millet seed is so tiny that there's no point in covering it up with this, because you'll cover it up so deep that it'll just, bury and rot. So that's the plan. The field has grown back up a lot with millet, believe it or not. You've seen that the last couple episodes. It's not uncommon for millet to grow year after year and come up on its own. So I'm going to lightly disc in some millet that's already growing. A lot of it's going to come right back. That's no problem at all. It'll just make seed a bit early. Dove will still go out there to it. Everything we plant today should be ready just before dove season, which is kind of middle to end of September here. And I like to get a lot of seed on the ground 1 to 2 weeks before that. So we should be timing out okay as long as we continue to get some rain. So we're going to jump in the tractor, hook up to the disc, go down there, get started. know if this camera could pick it up. There was quite a bit of dove in the tree and field. So as y'all can see, this is next day. I worked on this until I pretty much run out of camera light last night. And if anybody's curious, people are always asking me, how long does it take to plant something like this? Well, it was just under 4 hours is what I dedicated yesterday. That's coming out here and disking this in once, and keep in mind that was also another acre or so up here. And then I come back and spread the seed out, and then come back and roller packed it all in. And it tends to work out very well doing it that way. I mean, I'm looking down here and I don't really see any seed left. So that's kind of the way I like to do this. Fluffy seed bed, put my little seed right on top, and then roller pack it in. That roller packer does a excellent job for as small as it is. You can see it's got the field almost level because it was still pretty rough. There's a few high spots, but that doesn't matter. The rain's going to wind up beating that down. So since a lot of y'all ask specific questions sometimes, I put out about 4 bags for, I'm going to guess this is 5 acres between the top and bottom. And that is a tremendous amount of seed. That is 2 to 2.5 times as thick as most places recommend on the max side. And I do that for a very specific reason. If you watched my planting last year, the reason I do that is this seed comes up so thick, and I learned this by accident, that it actually shades out any weed competition. So by planting it thick, it tries to stunt the growth. So I just hit it with really good with fertilizer, and it seems to do excellent every year. I wind up with so much seed on the ground, it literally looks like you bait the field. I've just, it's comical. There's so much seed that comes out that I'm glad I have video proof, because if the FWC ever were to come out here, they'd probably be like, no, you baited this field. I could prove every bit of it. But I plant it thick for a reason. It really keeps weed competition down. So no rain on the radar for the next few days. We're on the forecast, but maybe by end of the week there's a chance. If this will get wet, it'll come up. As you've seen, I did not put my fertilizer out. It is so dry. We keep getting these 96-degree days and 100-something in the heat index. The ground is baked. And I have a cab tractor, so I have to lift the back window up in order to open up the fertilizer hopper, and it would put dust everywhere in there. So it's no problem if I put fertilizer out after this comes up. That's how the majority of people do it. I just have always put my seed down, packed, and threw fertilizer right on top, and I find that works great. But this time, I'm going to wait for one rain to settle the dust, and then I'm going to come out here and fertilize the whole field. And I put out about 200 pounds an acre. This year I'm going to try triple 13. Normally I do triple 10 because it's the cheapest stuff there is. But the guy at the fertilizer store recommended triple 13, so we're going to try it. So if you have any specific questions on planting dove food plots, this is about my 5th year now, I think. I've spent a lot of money, made a lot of mistakes, a lot of trial and error, but I have found brown top millet, at least for my area, to work the best by far. And I have got my cost down now to almost 1/3 of what it was when I first started. Just, you know, doing a lot of wrong things, making a lot of mistakes, and finally learning what it really takes. Not doing extra fertilizer, for example. I do extra seed, but I do that for a reason. No more than that cost. I like that it keeps the weed competition down. So like I said, if you have any specific questions on planting a little dove plot, brown top millet specifically, been doing that a few years now. I'm slowly getting it figured out. There's still a lot to learn. I have a feeling by next year I'll have my cost down even a little more. And there's a few little things I may try next year. Since it likes to grow on its own, I may do even less seed and disc this field in later and see if I can get some volunteer stuff to come up and have almost no money in seed. So I'll play with that next year. But for now, this should come up great. I'm confident it'll come up just fine. Even with this other green millet that's in the field, that's just bonus seed. So, like I said, have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Thanks for watching.